Have you ever wondered how to create a curly hair routine? I'm going to show you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're going to talk about building a curly hair care routine, because you may have read all the information about, what to avoid, what to do, styling techniques, ingredients, all of those sorts of things, and yet you still feel stumped. But where do I start? And I quite often get messages like that from people saying, but I've read everything, but I don't know which products to choose. I just don't know what to do to get started. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we go any further, I just want to kind of put in a little disclaimer that obviously any suggestions I make here are just that, they're suggestions, and we know it's accepted that your healthy hair journey does take trial and error. So I may suggest certain products and certain things, you may try them and they might not work for you. They might, and that would be great. It's just to give you a starting point, somewhere to think, right, well, I'll try these first, because it can be overwhelming. There's so much on the market for curly hair now that it can be a little bit overwhelming figuring out where to start. So the first thing that I like to suggest to people who are just starting to figure out a curl routine is to keep it inexpensive and keep it simple. There will be some people who will say to you that it's worth spending more money on more expensive products because the quality is better and that's better for your hair. And while that is true, and while I do recommend some higher, price bracket, top quality brands, at the same time, when you're just starting out, you don't really know your hair. You don't necessarily know what your hair likes and doesn't. You've got less of an idea of what's going to work for you. And so if you spend all your money on these expensive products and then they absolutely do nothing for your hair, well then what? You've got no money left to spend on something else, or you end up spending money you don't have or that you wish you weren't spending on hair products. And it can become disheartening and you feel like you've spent all this money and your hair is no better. So I like to recommend starting inexpensively. Start with budget-friendly products, and I'm going to recommend a couple of brands for that. So the two brands that come to mind for me when I'm thinking about budget-friendly but really great, good quality products are Naughty and Umberto Giannini. So those are two brands that I use and love regularly now, even though I have a selection of expensive products as well. These are the ones that I really, really go back to time and time again. And I have products from both of these brands in my shower permanently, which can't be said for very many products. I also have discount codes for both of them, so that makes it even more affordable for you. Everything I will pop in the description box as well, so you can refer back to that. So Naughty have got a huge variety of products, but all the ones I've tried I've found to be really good. My favourites are the To The Rescue range, and of course the Curly range, which is like the Wave Hello range. While I was editing this, I realised I completely forgot to add in examples for Umberto Giannini like I had for the Naughty products. So my favourites from the Umberto Giannini website are the Banana Butter range. This is absolutely amazing. And I also really like some from the Scalp range, and obviously there's the Curl Jelly range as well. The second thing I mentioned was keeping it simple. So although you might see your favourite curly girl on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube doing a 10-step routine, when you start out, a 10-step routine is not actually going to be helpful. And the main reason for that is because, as we said, you don't know a huge amount about your curls yet. You're still right at the beginning of learning about your hair and learning about your curls. And so if you just throw 10 products at it and it doesn't work out great, how are you going to figure out which one of those 10 products or 10 steps was the issue? Whereas if you start a really simple basic routine, and if you're going to make changes from week to week, from wash day to wash day, change one thing at a time, it's much, much easier for you to figure out which thing is working and which thing is not. So before we get on to actually what products you need, you're going to need a few tools. Nothing, again, that's going to break the bank. So the first thing you're going to need is, well, you have a choice, but the most inexpensive and cheapest way is a t-shirt. Preferably a large t-shirt. So this is my husband's t-shirt, and a big t-shirt like this to use instead of a regular towel. Now the reason for that quickly is because a regular towel has tiny little loops all over which make it feel fluffy, but those loops can catch on the hair and actually ruffle the cuticle of your hair and cause frizz, whereas a t-shirt is smooth. Jersey t-shirt like this, it's smooth and it's not going to cause excess frizz, and you can use it just to squeeze out excess water, you can use it to plop, whatever you like. If you want to, you can actually buy curl specific towels as well. My favourite curly towel is the Perfect Hair Care towel. You'll see it in almost all of my videos. It's silky smooth, I think it's absolutely excellent. And it's got a little toggle, which means that you can use it to, you can use that to help keep it on your head. Another tool that is useful in your curly journey is a spray bottle of some description. It doesn't have to be a continuous spray, but this one is. You just press it and it continues to spray that water for a while, which just stops you getting hand cramp when you're like using a regular trigger spray bottle. Useful for refreshing your hair between washes, and even on wash day, if your hair likes soaking wet styling, you can keep your hair wet using one of these. An optional thing you might want is some sort of brush that's going to work well in curly hair. So this is the Perfect Hair Care brush. Usually the Perfect Hair Care towel and brush come in a set. You can get them on Amazon. I will link them. This is an excellent brush, and it depends on what you prefer. Some people like to detangle their hair with a brush, other people finger detangle. I usually finger detangle, but I do use this for brush styling. When you're first starting out, I wouldn't recommend you go all guns blazing into brush styling. That's something to maybe come later. Think of that like an advanced thing to try once you get the hang of your hair. But you may want to have a brush that's going to be kinder to your curls. This one is really, really good at detangling without like ripping through or breaking the hair. You also might want to have a few nice curly hair accessories for days where you just don't want to wash your hair, or maybe you've had a bit of a failed wash day. So one of the main things I absolutely love are these little like telephone wire hair ties. So the brand is Invisible, but most of mine are just non-brand ones, like from Boots or Superdrug or wherever. Usually have their own brand of these, and they're brilliant. They don't leave kinks in your hair when you tie it up, so you can tie your hair up, take it back down, and it won't leave a kink in your hair. Don't be worried about it getting tangled, because if your hair seems tangled in it, all you have to do is stretch the band out like that and your hair will just fall out of it. And then if it gets really overstretched, you just need to stick it in a cup and pour it over boiling water, and it will shrink right back down to its normal size. You also might want to have a few accessories like headbands and things. I've shown in some of my other videos some of my favorites. I'm not going to go into that today, but you might want something like that for days where your hair just doesn't look great down. So now let's get to the actual products. What products do you need to start your actual curly hair routine? So the first thing you're going to need is something to clean your hair with. Now you may choose to go with a co-wash, or you may choose to go with a sulfate-free shampoo. I personally prefer a sulfate-free shampoo. I think with co-washing, I did start my journey co-washing and it was great for my hair, but a lot of people try co-washing and find that they end up with a lot of build-up on their hair and scalp. When you're co-washing, you do have to co-wash really thoroughly. So if you choose to co-wash, I will link a video which shows you exactly how to co-wash thoroughly, because there is a technique to it. A couple of really good co-washes are the Umberto Giannini Banana Butter Co-Wash and the As I Am Coconut Co-Wash. Both are absolutely excellent. You can also co-wash with a regular conditioner, but again, see my video for how to do that properly. I prefer these days most of the time to use a sulfate-free shampoo. So a couple of my favourites are the Umberto Giannini Banana Butter Shampoo, Naughty to the Rescue Shampoo, and also the Wave Hello Shampoo. They're both excellent. And I would not be without my Naughty Detox Dynamo, because that's just one to use every so often to clarify your hair. So it would be a good idea to have a slightly stronger clarifying shampoo in your collection, just to use every so often, maybe once a month, just to make sure that your hair is getting really properly clean. Next, you're going to need a conditioner. Obviously, all curly hair needs conditioning and conditioners. A few of my favourites are from those same brands. So Naughty to the Rescue conditioner is brilliant. The Wave Hello conditioner is really good as well. Also, the Umberto Giannini Banana Butter conditioner is really beautiful as well. When you're building your routine, you might want to choose a specific leave-in conditioner, or you might just want to not fully rinse out your regular conditioner. Either is fine. If you do want to choose a leave-in conditioner, my favourite sort of budget-friendly one is the Umberto Giannini Banana Butter one again. It's an excellent leave-in conditioner. You only need a tiny bit and it lasts absolutely ages, but it's really, really lovely. Now you notice I'm focusing on these two brands I've mentioned, Naughty and Umberto Giannini, and as I said before, the reason I'm doing that is because they are budget friendly. So there are loads more great products in these categories, and if you want to see other ideas, including slightly more expensive products in these categories, then check out my 2021 curly hair product favorites video and you'll be able to see a wider variety. But I'm just going to stick to these two brands because I feel like they're a really good place to start when you're just starting out your routine. So next you're going to want styling products, and in the spirit of keeping it simple, just pick one or two styling products. That is all you need to get started. Maybe a cream and a gel, maybe a mousse and a gel, maybe a cream and a mousse. It's up to you where you want to start, but here are some really great examples of those types of products. We've got the Naughty Curl Cream, which is a really lovely cream. I haven't used it in a while. Really must try it again because I was having great results with that. We've got the Umberto Giannini Curl Whip Mousse, which you'll see I did a video on that recently where I was using that, and it is, what a great mousse that is. We've got the Naughty Scrunching Jelly, lovely lightweight scrunching jelly, and then we've got the Umberto Giannini curl jelly, and these two are quite similar. They've got a similar consistency, they're both very, very lightweight, and they both give great results. So picking one or two of this sort of styler is going to be a really good place to start, and it's also going to mean that you will know what's working. You'll be able to just tweak, and if you just tweak one thing at a time in your routine, you'll be able to figure out which one of those products is working for you or actually isn't working for you. Once you've got your products, you're going to want to figure out how to actually use them. So obviously shampoo is pretty self-explanatory. We've discussed co-wash and I've linked to that video. When it comes to conditioning, then a really popular technique which works great for curly hair is called squish to condish. I will link a video showing how to squish to condish as well. But it basically involves squishing the conditioner and lots of water into your hair, and it really plumps up the hair, it plumps up the individual strands, makes your curls more juicy. It's a fantastic technique, and if you haven't tried that yet, I highly recommend you give that a shot. Now, after this point, when it comes to using your styling products, there are so many styling techniques that you can choose from. I mean, I would be here all day if I tried to list them all, but a few basic ones are raking your fingers through your hair to distribute product. Praying hands, which is where, like it sounds, your hands are together like it's praying, and you're smoothing the hair between your hands, smoothing the product on like this. Glazing, which is similar, but just using a flat hand, you're just sort of smoothing the product onto your hair. Normally you would glaze and then scrunch, and scrunching is, as you know, scrunching like this. So those are some of the most basic styling techniques that you can use to apply your styling products and to help those curls to kind of form and be enhanced. You can use a combination of those styling techniques. You can just pick one. You could use them all. It's up to you. That's where trial and error comes in, and when it's up to you to just have fun with it and try different styling techniques each time. Something else to bear in mind is how wet your hair is when you apply your styling products. When I first started my curly journey, I found that if I styled on soaking wet hair, my hair would just lose definition and go fluffy after an hour. Like, it would look great when it was just done, but it would just lose it after a couple of hours. But I discovered if I used my t-shirt and removed some of the water gently like this before I added my styling products, that I managed to get that level of hold and my curls lasted. And I did that actually until only the last few months. So I'm 5 years into my curly journey, and most of my curly journey I have been applying my styling products to less than soaking wet hair. I don't like to call it damp styling because I feel like that's misleading. Damp hair, putting products on damp hair, I mean, some people maybe get on with it. It's less likely to give you good results. Your hair still needs to be a certain amount of wet, but it's not soaking, dripping wet hair. It's less wet, if that makes sense. So less wet styling doesn't have the same ring to it as damp styling, but you get the picture. But now recently my hair has changed, and today I styled on absolutely soaking wet hair, and as you can see, I've got great results. So happy with my hair today. I used the Curlsmith Shine range, which I absolutely love. Link a video if you want to see that, but let's not get off track. We're talking about starting your routine, Marisa. Naughty. So after you've applied all your styling products, you're going to need to dry your hair somehow. Now you can just air dry your hair. It's absolutely fine to just leave your hair to dry in the open air. No problem with that at all. If you're going to air dry, you might find that you want to sort of flip your hair back and forward like this to get volume as you're air drying. And I recently did an air drying experiment. Ooh. And I posted it, so I'll link that one. I'm linking a lot of videos today, but I'll link that video and you can see how my hair looks when it's air dried as opposed to diffused, because I do love to diffuse my hair personally. I prefer to diffuse, but I was impressed at how my hair came out air dried. So you can choose to air dry if you want to, or you might want to diffuse your hair, and in that case you've got to think about a hairdryer with a diffuser. Now I use the Dyson Supersonic and I absolutely love it, but it is very, very expensive, and it might be something you decide to treat yourself to. But when you are just starting your journey, you might not want to go and spend £300, $300, whatever it is, on a hairdryer. So alternatively, you can use your existing hairdryer and look for a universal diffuser. Now I have this is the Gama Super Diffuser. It's a universal diffuser. It has this silicone end to it, so you can push the nozzle of your hairdryer in there and it will grip to pretty much any hairdryer. It's a really lovely deep bowl. It's an excellent diffuser. So if you can get hold of this, then highly recommend it. It's been difficult to get a hold of for a while, but I have noticed a couple of times recently when I did a Google search for it, it came up a few places. So I will try and find where it's in stock and link it in the description if I can. Another brilliant option is the Bellissima Differ. So this is actually a dryer and diffuser in one, so you just plug that straight in. It's lovely and lightweight and it gives excellent results. Really highly recommended. Again, a nice deep bowl with long prongs, which is useful. So those are two options for you to dry your hair. Now, once your hair is dry, don't forget to scrunch out the crunch. So our products make that hard, crispy cast. And even if you don't end up with a crispy cast, once your hair is completely dry, give it a good scrunch because it will just release the bounce. It will get rid of any stiffness or crunchiness, and then you'll have bouncy curls. Don't you wish you knew that in the 90s? So I hope that that has helped you to figure out a basic routine, pick some of those products. Maybe you have your eye on other products, that's totally fine, doesn't have to be the ones I've mentioned. Those are just some good options for a budget-friendly starter routine. I really, really hope that helps. If you have any other starter questions, as always, please ask me in the comments and I will do my best to get to them and answer your questions. And if you have a question and I think, oh, that would make a good video, then I will make the video and I will mention you in my video. I hope you have a fabulous day and I will see you soon. Bye.